unless a running back really falls to day 3, I can't see us necessarily dipping there again. No. Someone would have to fall again, like Kenny McIntosh style, I think, to be considered. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, with that, obviously, we've spent this episode going through free agency, going through who we've let go, where they've gone, who we've signed, who we've traded for. And this is my favorite time to do a mock because it gives us a really well-rounded view of what this team looks like and what we're looking for. So with that, as it is mock draft season, we're going to go through another mock. We are going to use Pro Football Network because it has been updated, checked by Mitch. So we'll just do a 7-round mock. We'll do it on fast, so we're not taking up loads of time. We'll try and explain why we're picking these players, and then let us know what you think in the comments, or if you want to let us know on X or in an Instagram comment or on our Facebook group, by all means, you can join that page. We'd be more than happy to have you. But let's go for it. What I love about these as well is that the first 10 never go as you think. So I've seen so many where Caleb Williams drops to 5. And part of me, if I'm a GM looking at drafting someone, I'm like, he is a mercurial talent, but the guy appears to be a little bit of a cretin. So do I pick him at 1? Well, it looks like the Bears are going to now that Fields has gone.
So. This trade we've got on screen is my favorite. It's one of my 2 favorite trade partners. So actually 3: Kansas City for their late first and late second, the Eagles for their 22nd and 53rd, and Green Bay for their 2 seconds are my 3 favorite trade scenarios. Mm-hmm. However, if we go for this one, Josh, and I'll let you decide whether we do or not, I would throw in maybe a 5th, because I don't think anyone's making that trade in a realistic world. I think it would have to be a day 2 pick, maybe a 3rd, or maybe a 4th round pick thrown in order, or a future pick in order to move up.
We've got one of our viewers, a member of Discord, saying that they would accept it. Who else have we got?
Me too.
So the Chiefs are trying to offer us 32, 64, 95, and their second next year for 16 and 102. Then you've got the Manders offering us 36, 40, and 152. So reject the Commanders, reject the Chiefs, and you want to counter the Philly one.
Yeah, I'd maybe throw in the 179 or the 118. I know they're just going to instantly accept, but I just think from a realistic point of view, that offer doesn't happen without us having a later pick thrown in.
That's fine. All right, we'll do that. So we'll offer our 16th and 179 for pick 22 and 53. I'd be happy to take that. Looking at who's on the board: Latham versus Mitchell, Thomas, Newton, Fatanu, Jackson Powers Johnson, Chop Robinson, Nate Wiggins, just to name a few. Now, Mitch and I had a conversation earlier about what he sees our draft strategy being based on what we've done. I'll let you tell everyone, Mitch, because I thought it was a really insightful way of looking at this based on how we padded this roster out through free agency.
I'm trying to remember which conversation it was because there's been so many, but I guess we're talking about first round grades dropping and us taking best player available in order to add to the roster.
It was the star player.
We'll see. Well, we talked about edge rusher potentially being the main difference maker to add to this roster as it currently is. Yeah, I basically made the point that we've patched quite a lot of the urgent needs, and John Schneider's been very vocal recently about how overpaid and overrated interior offensive line is in his opinion. So I'd be very surprised if we used a 16th or a 22nd pick in this instance on interior offensive line, and also add into that that they surely have to expect to be picking 20th onwards next year and the following year. And those are positions where you usually do have defensive line and interior offensive line available to you. So picking at 16, if we were drafting there on this occasion, we're not. but you'd want to take a player that's usually going to be out of your reach, like a premium X Factor edge rusher, which I think would push what we're building now to the next level. So Latu versus or Turner potentially falling to us at 22 would be an unbelievable pickup, I think.
Versus sitting there at the moment. So the options are we take this trade and risk going back to 22, where we could get someone like Chop Robinson.
Yeah, Fatanu could be there as well. Yeah, we'll see. I think we just hit that button and see how it falls.
Let's confirm that then. Trade accepted. Right.
Okay.
And then are we just going basically, should we just caveat this that any trade offered by the Niners we're just going to say no to? So even though they're offering us 31 and 63, they can, that's a no. Cowboys trying to offer us 24 and 56 for 22 and 81.
I wouldn't personally. I think there's a couple on the board there that we might have first round grades on, and if we picked up a second round pick and get the chance to take one of our first round grades that fall to us, I think that's absolutely a run to the podium situation.
Well, there's two players there instantly that I think has got a first round grade on. Well, just for those that aren't watching, that are listening, we rejected the Niners because it's the Niners. And then we've had Jacksonville come in offering us 48, 96, and next year's second and third for our 22nd and next year's seventh. Unrealistic. I'm going to say no because I've seen who's on the board. So here we are picking at 22, and at the top of that list is Johnny Newton.
Yeah, I think that's a first round grade. I think year on year we see John Schneider with 12 to 15 first round grades. And with our new strategy that we've used the last 2 years of taking best player available on day 1 and 2, regardless of positional need, here we get the opportunity to take someone that was probably a first round grade and a positional need, and also a scheme fit, because he can play 3 tech in a 3, and he can play defensive end in a 4. Extremely athletic, lives in the backfield, extremely disruptive. I can't look past that pick, but we're doing this together. So what's your take? You think?
Do you know what? That'll be my pick. But for anyone out there that's sort of watching or listening to this, someone like Cooper DeJean, I'm really intrigued by in this whole setup, because he is, in my eyes, the perfect Mike Mack secondary player, because you can line him up at safety, nickel. You can line him up on as an outside cornerback, but then he can come in, he can blitz. That would be the only. You got Byron Murphy as well as there, but I think for this one, picking at 22, if he's still there, you're picking Johnny Newton all day.
Yeah, I agree.
There you go. Johnny Newton is a Seahawk.
Yeah, and we're about to be picking in the second round, and that excites me because I think there's a load of players that are a great scheme fit that are likely to be available. So.
And then straight away, we get an offer from the Ravens, 62 and 113 for pick 53. But before we do that, let's see who's on the board. Everyone's fan favourite, Michael Penix, but based on what we've just done with quarterback, I don't think that's going to happen. You've then got Zach Frazier, the centre from West Virginia, Cooper Beebe, the guard from Kansas State, Chris Braswell, the edge from Alabama. That's an intriguing one for me. Michael Hall as well, the defensive tackle from Ohio. And then Braylon Trice from Washington. And then we've got Jatavian Sanders and Ben Sinnott, tight ends. Now, for me, it's a toss-up between BB and Braswell here.
Okay.
Because we've already taken defensive tackle. As much as Michael Hall has been talked up, and you see the video of him absolutely decimating Powers Jackson, it's going to be BB or Braswell for me. What are your thoughts here, Mitch?
I like Braswell as a player. I feel like he's been a perfect complement to
Turner.
Dallas Turner, and incorporating him into our defensive line could have a similar effect on players like Mafe and Nwosu. So I feel like he's a great player in his own right, but I feel like an addition like that also gets another level out of previous investments in this roster. So I like that. However, it's exactly the same effect putting BB into that offense, having him back up multiple lines on positions on that line, and also giving you a starting caliber leader on that offensive line. And I can't look past that. Good. The two players you picked out are the exact same two that I would have as well. So we're on the same page. But
Unagi.
that's Unagi. I do think that's BB for me. And
Yeah,
I'm now mates with his dad on Twitter as well. So how can I look past him?
There you go. So Mr. BB's dad, if you are watching, or you do catch the little clip of this that I'll make, this one's for you. And for us, because we desperately need a good guard. So Cooper BB, you are our second round pick. Right, that's where we see everyone go off the board here. Right, so at pick 81, we have two trades. We have one from the Browns. They want to offer us 85 and their 7th round pick next year. Just reject that.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Green Bay offering us 88 and next year's 6th. Now, before we do anything with that, let's see who we've got. So players that stand out to me, Michael Hall again, but we've just taken a DT. Cedric Gray. Cedric Van Pran has changed his name to Van Pran Granger.
Yeah, it always was. I think people were just shortening it because it was a lot of characters for different websites and stuff.
SVPG rather than SVP now. We've got Marshawn Nealand. Can we just address this one question that's come up on our YouTube comments? How far does Penix have to fall for us to consider him? To the 5th.
Depends if he's grown a new leg, to be honest.
Well, exactly.
Has his knee regenerated? I just don't think it's realistic at this point. I'm kind of ignoring him because I don't think he falls that far.
No, neither do I. I personally, we've been burnt too many times by people with pre-existing injuries that we brought on, and they've just persisted. I can't. I will keep saying it till the day I die. The best ability is availability. And it'd be fantastic taking him somewhere like 81. But then what if he lasts half a season? He's going to be a backup. He's going to be a backup's backup for at least a year anyway. So it's pointless. Good question, though. For me, I'm looking here at someone like Nealand. Rosengarten's someone who intrigues me as well. But I just want to have a quick look at what linebackers are available. So we've got Gray, Trotter, Williams, who we've spoken about on the pod before, who's estimated to go at 101. Tyron Hopper, Jalen Ford going further down. And then we've got Trice Knight, who's someone that we had in for a top 30 visit. But he's all the way down at 142. And we pick after this one at 102 at 118. So that's something we can look at later. For me, Mitch, I am going to be looking at either Nealand, or Cole Bishop. No, we can get a safety later. I'm going to go Nealand or Gray. I think just Gray for his pure sort of sideline to sideline. He does all the fundamentals well. And you've got Abrams Drain as well, who could come into that cornerback room and do stuff. But I think there's other options further down the line. What
Can
are you
you
thinking?
switch the filter to defense? Just I really want to take a defensive player on this pick.
Yeah.
And I think that's echoed in what you're saying, because you're saying Nealand, Cedric Gray, and who was the other, or was it just the two?
Nealand, Gray, or Abrams Drain.
Abrams Drain, okay. Abrams Drain's a fun one. That is a serious hitter in the backfield. Cedric Gray's a great fit, and we've just taken 2 linebackers on 1-year deals because of their ability to be versatile linebackers. Cedric Gray would be a brilliant will in this system. However, there's a guy on that board a little bit further down, James Williams. I don't know why he's fallen so far there, but this would be I think this is a perfect round 3 pick for us.
I love this pick anyway. If we're going to take him, then I'm more than happy with it.
I just like the fact that he's played all of college as a safety. He's got a real bit of nastiness in him with how he drops the hammer on people if they dare catch the ball near him. He's got that real sledgehammer, and combined with timing of the hits, like Cam Chancellor used to have, where you caught it and you almost were flinching already because you knew he was 2 strides away from you and he was going to hit you in a legal but brutal way. He's got that about him as a defensive back, but he's also converting to linebacker and shows fantastic tackling technique combined with coverage ability. That is a superb fit for multiple positions of need going forward on a roster. And I kind of prefer him to Cedric Gray because I think the ceiling on how good he can be in that position is higher than Gray.
Yeah.
Personally, and also he's a bit rangier, a bit longer. Gray, I think, is a bit smaller from memory. It's literally from memory, though. What do you think?
We've spoken about Williams before. I love his positional versatility. I love the fact you can put him anywhere in that backfield, and it's going to keep any offense guessing. I've said for years that I just want to have a secondary at least where, regardless of when someone catches the ball, they've got to have their head on a swivel, and they've got to think, when am I getting hit? Who's hitting me first? How much is it going to hurt? Because you could be the best wide receiver or tight end in the league, but if you keep catching the ball and you get hit with 200 pounds of man every single time, you're going to start dropping balls. You're going to start ad-libbing on your routes because you're not going to want to keep taking those hits. And I think that is a great pick. Are we nailing that in?
Yeah, let's nail that down. I also will mention the names Cooper Kupp and receiving backs like McCaffrey in our league. You have to stop them getting yards after catch. So players like that headhunting in your DB room are kind of essential for the NFC West, I think.
Perfect. James Williams, you're a Seahawk.
Love that.
Right, and then we're coming at 102, and we've got a trade offer from the Colts. They're offering us 117 and 151. Now, before we kibosh that, who's available? A slew of running backs. Blake Corum, fantastic. Bucky Irving as a Duck. I thought he was fantastic for us, and I think he'll do well in a good sort of pass-heavy offense because as a receiving back, he's brilliant. DJ James, McKinley Jackson's there. Kalen Bullock. Kieran Amagaji. There you go. Got it right again.
Nailed it.
That's stuck in there now. Dwayne Carter is a defensive tackle that intrigues me. And you've got Booker, Smith, Jaden Hicks, possibility of bringing a hometown boy back. And then we end up going, Jonah Ellis has fallen quite far in this draft.
Can you flip it to offense and guard just to see if Zach Zinter is still in free fall?
I certainly can. He is 146 is what they...
You might look at that some people might be watching this thinking, James Williams was a reach. They ranked him at 101 and they took him, in the third high up. I think that was a reasonable position to be picking him. And I also don't think Zach Zinter is a late third, fourth because of injury concerns with that broken leg and how, when something like that, a serious leg injury heals, there are often knock-on effects with calf injuries, with quad injuries, with hamstring injuries because of that leg restructuring itself. So there are concerns, but that was guard number 1 in this class prior to that injury. I don't think he falls further than this. And that is a serious player in the run game for the interior of our line. So if he's here in the 4th round, I feel inclined to go for it. There is a caveat, though. That trade offer we had split us into 2 picks, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be we can hedge our bets that he's going to be on the board at 117. How do you feel about that? Trying to split our pick and take Zinter. Do you think
that'd be my preference? Based on where Zinter's sitting, I think that'd be my preference because he's an option there, but then there are other players that we've gone through before.
Like Amagaji we've talked about as well. There's a lot of sort of extra prizes there potentially. I like it. I think that's a good offer.
We'll take it. So we'll take the 117, 151 in exchange for a 102. Here we go.
Right. We get 2 picks in a row here. That's nice. I always like when that happens.
It's a nice little touch, that. And then we've got, so for our 117 and then our 2025 7th rounder, the Broncos want to give us 121 and 203. Let's have a look. Is our boy still there? Zach Zinter is still sitting there. We've got 2 picks in a row, so it doesn't matter who we pick and when we pick him. Zach Zinter, should I just take him now?
I think everyone would tune out if we planned to do that and then didn't do it when it happened. So let's absolutely just lock that one in.
Right,
and that's fantastic. We've added BB and Zach Zinter to this room. Fant is now backing up the tackles.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a starting and backup center. Our O line actually looks really good now. I think we've done that. I think we need to look at edge, interior D line, possibly a dedicated safety, and then just value. That would be my priority at this point.
More than happy with that. That's kind of how I'd go with this as well. And then the 49ers, every single time we do one of these, they just come in with a trade pretty much every other pick we've got. Want to offer us 124, 176 for 118. Do one. No.
Yeah, on your bike.
Right, which now means if we're looking at edge and safety, who have we got? So safety-wise, Bullock's still there. Jaden Hicks still there for safeties. Who else have we got safety-wise? Malik Mustafa's still down there. Tyke Smith. Kenny Logan.
Oladapo's an absolute boy as well. I'm a big fan of Oladapo.
And Vaki is all the way down in the 200s. Fair enough. Yeah. If we're looking at edges, my guy, Javon Solomon, still there. And Jalix Hunt.
Yeah. Xavier Thomas there from Clemson as well. That's an interesting one. Extremely athletic there.
Chupuola Fetui is there as well. That's right. So I get stumped with a lot of the other names, but if you give me a Pacific Islander name as a rugby fan, I've got it on lock. Right. So if we're looking at our options, then we're going to look at edge, safety, and then value. Was that what we were saying?
D-line, then
mm-hmm.
So interior D-line. There's actually a D-lineman on there that fascinates me. In fact, there's 2. Dwayne Carter and Mason Smith. Beginning of this year, coming into this year, Mason Smith was a top 5 pick. Mm-hmm. He was widely considered a top 5 pick. He was considered the premium D lineman. And I know we've already done this with Zinter saying, he was G1 and then he fell for certain reasons. Mason Smith hasn't lived up to the hype. But to have fallen this far, there's unbelievable upside if you can coach and keep him fit. If you can coach him and keep him fit and help him reach his potential, you've got a potential top 10 player at this point in the draft. And I do think he'll fall this far, but I don't know how much further than this he falls because there is a serious player there.
Well, we're picking
Dwayne
again.
Carter's, when are we next picking?
151, 192, 235. We've got Dwayne Carter is someone that I've been trying to scout as much as possible because he really intrigues me. But like you said about Mason Smith, I think it's one of those where if he's staring you there, you look at the production he's had, how highly rated he was, and if he sat there, I think you'd be kind of silly not to take him. Because
someone's going to take a punt on him.
Yeah, exactly. Even if he's battling through injury. I mean, for me, like I said, the best availability is availability. But when you get to this portion of the draft, if you're looking at players that were previously highly regarded and have dropped purely through injury, like Zach Zinter, broken legs heal. If it was an ACL, MCL, any of the ligaments, I would be even more worried. Broken legs, once the bone is healed and set, then it's just the strengthening around it. I'm fine with that. I'm happy with Mason Smith here.
Yeah, I think the upside there is enormous. If you can coach him up and get him over his injury issues, he doesn't have to start in our D line necessarily. He could be a rotational piece for the first few years. Ceiling there is enormous.
Right, here you go. Mason Smith it is. Okay. And then we go for this is an intriguing trade. Our 151, 235. Jacksonville are offering 153 and 212. So we drop down 2, but then we move up. So that 23 picks. Sorry, my mental maths. There you go. They call me calculator boy. I think we also need to start thinking about, do we take a tight end? I know you've got a tight end that you absolutely love, who is all the way down there at 203 in AJ Barner.
We've actually got 2 of them on there as well. AJ Barner and Tip Raymond as well.
Yeah.
Both high on my list.
I'm quite a fan of Colt Holker as well. So I'd be inclined at this point to take that trade just for the opportunity of moving up. Because if we're moving down 2 picks and moving up, what would we say, 23 picks?
But yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, what we're giving away isn't very much, and what we gain potentially is quite big. So I don't mind that at all. I think that's a no-brainer.
And then they take a guard in Isaiah Adams as well. So what we're looking at here then, we've got our D tackle. What we need to look at then are safety and edge.
Oladapo's still there.
Yeah.
There's Jalix Hunt there. There's Kenny Logan there that I like. But I think if you're looking at best player available in a position of need, because day 3, John Schneider will be looking what holes do we have and who has rotational, upside or rotational potential for this year and immediate impact. Oladapo is a big name there.
Yeah.
Josh Proctor's a nice name too, and I think Tyke Smith's another popular.
We've got our boy all the way down there, Sione Vaki.
Yeah. I think Oladapo's huge. Who's the top rated edge that's left? Because we haven't taken edge, and
Hunt.
Do you know what? Actually, that might be our last opportunity to take an edge player that can have meaningful snaps in 2024. So, and if we have an injury, we're going to need that immediately.
Are we? Is it going to be Hunt?
I like it purely because for me it's edge or safety now, and there are safeties further down that list that I also think could have impact in 2024.
Oladapo would be a fantastic pickup here, but like you said, edge, knowing what our injuries are like, I think having someone like Hunt to be able to come in, Mohamed Kamara as well. I think Rob Stanton
he really showed out at the combine as well. We watched the combine together, and he was brilliant. He popped off the screen. I think he was brilliant at the combine as well. He's earned the right to not slide any further than he already has.
Bosh, let's take him. Right,
and
then
so I think safety. Yeah, safety's the thing here, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So then we're looking at McMorris, Taylor, Harper, or it all comes back to Vaki for me.
There's one guy on there that I think could have Dominic Hampton. 6 seasons he played in at UW. Mm-hmm. He's got 6 years worth of tape. He's been incredibly consistent over that time. He's got a really good frame for being able to do it all. I really like Dominic Hampton, and it's great to be able to take a local prospect as well with a late round pick. I like that. Sione Vaki has that upside of maybe playing as a fullback, being able to be used as a running back or fullback. But I don't think he has much of an impact on defense in year 1. Could heavily be utilized in special teams though.
But then, obviously, look at what's on the main board. So,
Garendo, McLaughlin, Mohamed
Kamara,
Tahib Still, Dallin Holker, the tight end from Colorado.
Barner's still there as well.
Satoa Lameo there as well. The guy, although we have heavily invested, and then AJ Barner there as well. What's our next pick? We've got 2 picks, right? This one and one more.
So we've got this one and then 212. So At 212, we're looking at
Safety and tight end are the two options.
Yeah, I think they're the two options because linebackers, with the two we've just signed, and then the rest of the room we've got, I think we'll be okay. Then we've got free agency next year, and we've got next year's draft. I think safety is a glaring position of need.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say tactically for me. Vaki would be my favourite there.
Mhm.
Dominic Hampton is a superb second choice. One of those two will be available with our last pick in the draft. One of those two will still be there. So how
Okay.
about taking someone like AJ Barner for tight end, or Tip Raymond, one of the two, and then whichever safety is remaining on the board.
Let's go Barner. We've mocked Barner a lot. You've watched a lot of tape on him. He's one of your draft favourites for this. So there you go, AJ Barner. And then let's see the safeties.
Oh, there
and
he is.
Our boy is right there. There you go.
Dominic Hampton actually came off the board before him, interestingly.
All right. Well, there you go. That's our decision made.
Yeah,
Vaki,
very good.
You are a Seahawk. And that is that. So what we'll do a quick recap. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in and stayed with us. This will be available on your podcasting apps as of tomorrow because I'd like to go to sleep at some point today. But let's go through what we've done. So we have taken Johnny Newton at pick 22 after trading down. Then we've taken Cooper Beebe at 53, was part of that trade. That was with the Eagles. At 81, we took James Williams, who is that just Swiss Army knife of linebacker, safety, hybrid. We then went for Zach Zinter, offensive guard at 117, and then Mason Smith, a defensive tackle from LSU at 118. Jalix Hunt. Jalix, there you go, at 153. AJ Barner at 192 to round out our tight end room. And then our final pick at 212, Sione Vaki. I like that. Everyone who's watching, everyone who listens, everyone who just watches this segment when we put it out, let us know how you feel. If there's anyone you would have picked out of the players we discussed in those positions, if you don't agree with our strategy, we're more than happy to have that chat with you. If you do really want to chat about it and anything like that, by all means, join our Discord. Mitch is our Discord king. He is the man who is in charge of it. And it's always a fantastic sort of forum for everyone to get into. I dip in and out because I'm currently remodeling my house, which I say with a sneer on my face because I hate DIY. But I mean, apart from that, I mean, Mitch, is there anything else that you want to sort of say to anyone who's watching, listening, anything?
Yeah, we're obviously, it feels quite a long time ago we talked about the sort of restructuring of our roster. But I would say for anyone that watched this and thought, oh, you guys are looking at it really positively. I wanted to see Bobby back. He was, Hall of Fame player. He should retire as a Seahawk. They are absolutely valid points. And we may not be on the same page as you in that respect, but I absolutely, if I'm remodeling this roster with my heart, I completely agree with you. If I'm trying to do it with my head, as Schneider and Mike Mack and an entirely new team of coaches, I do see the need to purge everything and rebuild with purpose, which I think has been our approach. So I think whether you agree with us or not, thank you very much for staying with us the whole way through. Let us know what you would do differently. Let us know if you think we're wrong. Happy to hear the positive feedback as well as the negative. So, just thank you for watching.
Yeah, I mean, with that, you can expect more episodes coming out. We had a little bit of a flurry of episodes and a little bit of a break because Mitch's busy with work and, as I said, I'm remodeling a house. But we'll keep this coming up. If you are watching or listening and you think, I want to be on that, I want to say my piece, get in touch. This is a community podcast for 12s throughout the world. We've had some fantastic people on so far. We've had people from Germany, the Latin American Seahawkers. If you are watching, thank you so much. We love you guys. If you just want to just hop on, you don't have to stay on for a whole pod. You can come on and have a little bit of a guest spot. We'd be more than happy to have you on. With that, I'm just going to look forward to doing some more mocks, wait for the draft. We'll be hosting a draft watch party on our Discord as well.
Yep.
Especially for day one. But anything you guys want to say, like us, follow us. please, if you want to share this, that'd be amazing. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It all helps us. And obviously, we're reaching more and more people each week, which is shown by the people that are watching live on YouTube at the moment, on Facebook and X. Thank you so much. For two lads from the UK, to have more and more people watching and listening to us, it means a heck of a lot to us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
With that, I'm just going to say, until next time, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.